right, you want to kick us off?
All right, welcome everybody to our April chapter presidents and advisors meeting on our almost last day of the month. We have a few updates we're going to share with you today. And if you haven't done so already, introduce yourself in your chapter in the chat room or chat box, and then you can share your video as your bandwidth allows if you want, and then we'll be monitoring the chat in the chat room, kind of holding questions as much as we can after topic. And then, as always, we record these sessions, and the recording will be available usually by morning the next day. And we'll be sharing the slides and notes and the recording after the meeting. I didn't have anybody who said that they wanted to take notes or would be available to take notes, but if you are available to take notes and would like notes from the meeting, please raise your hand. Or speak up. If not, we'll carry on. We have a little bit of agenda today. Here are some of the things we're going to address as we move through the morning, or move through your lunch break, our lunch break, your lunch break, everything. So again, here's a list of all of the president's meetings that we have coming up for the year. We are on April 29th. And you also see the rest of the year. Just to give you an update, there has been some confusion over the July dates. There will be both a July TMN Tuesday and a July president's meeting in July. So just so you know that previously, or there were some questions of whether there was a combination TMN Tuesday, but we will have two meetings, both a TMN Tuesday and July TMN Tuesday and a July president's meeting in July. And so moving on, April, we're rounding out the last 2 days of April here. April was a huge month for our program. Lots of things going on, lots of activities. And one of the most important things in April is the celebration of you. You as volunteers, your chapters, and everything that you're doing for the Texas Master Naturalist program. So how did April go for you? If you want to drop some of your things in the chat. Just recapping some of the things in April. We had April, the whole month of April. I'm blissfully exhausted. I like that, Mary. The whole month of April is actually Global Volunteer Recognition Month. On April 1st, we kicked off a few things for the program. Our Conservation Wrangler announcement, which we kind of hinted at with you at our last meeting in March. We actually kicked that off with the announcement with Texan by Nature on April 1st. We kicked off our pollinators for Texas year 2, also on April 1st, and none of those were April Fool's jokes either. So April 8th, we had our TMN Virtual Volunteer Fair. April 20th through the 26th, actually we launched, April 20th was National Volunteer Recognition Day. That launched our National Volunteer Recognition Week, April 20th through the 26th. And then just this past weekend, we launched into City Nature Challenge. And now we're moving into that verification period for City Nature Challenge. I'm in Houston this week. We had a great City Nature Challenge event out in Houston last night. And then April 29th, we have this meeting today. And then like I said, we're launching into the City Nature Challenge identification period. And then any other new projects and updates and initiatives that come along. So as you all have agreed in the chat, yes, April has been exhilarating, exhausting, all of the above. So we want to, first of all, thank you for everything that you've been doing for the program, not only just in April, but all month, all year long. Everything that you do individually, collectively as a chapter, within your community as a whole. So thank you for your continued and sustained efforts as a Texas Master Naturalist volunteer. Some of those things we reported out to you during National Volunteer Recognition Week. We mentioned that April is a celebration of you and all of your accomplishments through the Texas Master Naturalist Program. So April 19th, ahead of National Volunteer Recognition Day, we sent out the thank you through our VMS. So all Master Naturalists who were listed as in training or in training and active in VMS received a thank you and our 2024 annual report for the year, along with a thank you letter from our team here, from our state office, our team at the state office level. And again, just thank you for everything that you're doing. And I hope that the letter and the annual report helps quantify, bring all together the impacts that you're making within your local community and for the entire state of Texas.
I will push for help. Of course, thank you. You have a good afternoon.
All right, next slide. You saw it through our social media, and Hannah will cover more of this about all the things that took place during April and are kind of wrapping up here in the last week of April. And again, as Master Naturalist volunteers, thank you for all that you've done and will continue to do. Okay, I pulled some slides from social media. Hannah has more of these in some subsequent slides later today that we'll talk about, but we mentioned the annual report that was sent out with the VMS newsletter that went out to all of our members. These graphics kind of give some of those numbers in a more concise and boiled down version of the annual report. So along with some great photos, all from our membership.
Do you want me to keep going?
Yes, please.
I can do this one if that's all right, and the next couple. So one of the things that Michelle mentioned that we announced at the beginning of April was recognition by the organization Texan by Nature, which is a conservation accelerator nonprofit that was founded by Laura Bush. And Texan by Nature hosts the Conservation Wrangler Award every 2 years. It's an opportunity for conservation nonprofit organizations to seek accelerator support from their organization for project ideas that are large in scale and meet some of those same conservation strategy and values of Texan by Nature. And so the Master Naturalist program put together an application this year to seek the Conservation Wrangler Award and support. And we're awarded in early April for a 18-month accelerator support system from Texan by Nature that will help us to develop a strategic plan that's going to help us in recognition of our impact and our reach of our organization, but accelerating those and looking for new opportunities for growth. So we're excited to kick off that project. It's something that our state office team will be heavily involved with over the next 18 months. And I'm sure we'll be sharing updates and goals as we hit those goals throughout this process. So really exciting to be recognized as a conservation wrangler this year. We've shared some links on our website and our social media describing this program a little bit further in detail. And Hannah can drop those in the chat, or there, again, you can seek them on our website as well. The next big project that our team announced in early April, and as Michelle said, these are not April Fool's jokes, but we are just that excited and busy that we just couldn't hold it until April 2nd. We needed to tell you right away in April, is the opportunity to host a year 2 for the Pollinators for Texas project with AGV. They were so impressed with our year one applications that came from our chapters and the work that you guys are doing that they wanted to up the ante, so to speak, and continue the project with $80,000 for this second year in this project cycle. And the word year is a little deceptive there because it's starting in the summer. It's a mid-year project to mid-year project cycle this time around, because we recognized and heard feedback from year one applicants that they needed a fall planting schedule for some of these pollinator projects. Being reactive and adaptive to that request, AGB said, absolutely, let's get started with year two right away. And that's where those applications are now open until the 1st of June. Let me make sure that I have that right. Applications are open now until the 1st of June. And so our 2025 project timeline is here. We had a wonderful webinar 2 weeks ago by Hannah Thornton about the application process, some of the updated questions that we made, again, as a response, being reactive to questions and comments that you, our year one chapters had as you were filling out your Pollinators for Texas year one application. And so that's where the application has shifted just slightly for the year two project application questions and the timeline as well, as I mentioned. The second webinar that we hosted just last week was a 2-hour-long webinar with Wizzy Brown and Craig Hensley. They did a really comprehensive review of pollinator species and pollinator habitat considerations. If you have not seen that or are not able to join us live for that, please consider going back and watching that. It is linked on our website. I see Hannah has dropped that in the chat as well. That was hosted on April 24th and was certainly worth that extra hour of material there. Really helpful as you're thinking to develop your application, your project for a year two consideration. Again, all things Pollinators for Texas are on that website there. And Hannah Thornton, Hannah T, as we call her in our team meetings when there's too many Hannahs, Hannah T is the main point of contact for that project, or you can just use the general TMN Pollinators for Texas at ag.tamu.edu email address to reach her. Some other big projects that we worked on through the beginning of April was the virtual volunteer fair, as Michelle mentioned. Some wrap up to the virtual volunteer fair is happening today and tomorrow. So please encourage your chapter members to make sure that they've got this on their radar. Our virtual volunteer fair had 7 presentations back at the beginning of April. It was recorded. It was about a 2.5, 3 hour long presentation that day. And the sign up period for those projects that were presented ends tomorrow evening. So tomorrow evening, we'll close that survey for project volunteer signups. The very next day, I'll be sending that email to those project hosts with those volunteers who have wanted to work on those projects with them. There's a ton more information on our website with the who's and the how's and the where's. Again, these were our 7 wonderful presentations from projects from across the state, a variety of different organizations, impact styles, project opportunities were presented on that day. 2 of the biggest questions that we've gotten in our state office about the virtual volunteer fair, and a great screenshot if you have questions that you're hearing from your chapter membership, is 1, how do I sign up to volunteer with those great projects? And that is that SurveyMonkey link on the page in front of you, also on the website, on all the emails. We dropped it in the chat throughout the day of that event. And that SurveyMonkey closes tomorrow, April 30th. And then the second most asked question is, how do I log my hours in VMS? And the wonderful VMS team put together this VMS quick guide that helps you to answer those questions in the process for that, for both logging, attending, and watching the virtual volunteer fair itself, and volunteering with those projects afterwards. So please check out that VMS help guide, also linked on our website.
We also covered some of the the nuances about when and what to track where during the presentations as well. So there were we covered in detail in the virtual volunteer fair some nuances. So be sure to check that out too.
Absolutely. All right, Hannah, tell us about these.
All right, so as many of y'all probably saw on our socials, we were celebrating you for National Volunteer Month all month long. And one way that we did that this year was highlighting a few individual master naturalist stories. So I hope you got a chance to check these out during the month. If you didn't see them on socials, we also have them on our website. I just dropped that link in the chat. But for this, we focused on trying to get some master naturalist experiences from across the states. You'll notice we tried to kind of hit a little bit of the Four Corners and a little bit of the central area. But if you want to go and read those, please do, because it was really fun to collect those stories. And I know I loved seeing people comment on them. Oh, hey, I know her. Oh, I love seeing this comment. So that was a really great thing that we did. Also, we highlighted the individual chapters with the different carousels that we had throughout the month. And I also love seeing people comment on those saying, oh, I'm in that photo and we were doing this at this garden. And so it was really fun to see people interact with these campaigns all month. For the next slide, I also loved seeing y'all use the templates that we had for National Volunteer Month. We also added that individual feature for y'all to use if you wanted. So these were just a few that I pulled from y'all's socials. I know there were a lot more that went out throughout the month, but we loved seeing y'all being able to utilize those throughout the month and highlight your chapter and your individual members. And so thinking of how you liked these, if you liked them, what do you want to see next year for any National Volunteer Month templates? Do you like having these? Are you wanting to add something new? Feel free to shoot me an email and let me know what you thought worked and what didn't work. And we can see about doing something for that for next year. Then the final thing that you saw for the National Volunteer Month was also in celebration of National Volunteer Week. And that was, of course, our 2024 annual report. Michelle already shared a few close-up snippets of these, but here's the whole picture for you. Again, you can also see this on our website as well as our socials. But feel free to download the PDF of that annual report and hand it out at events if you think that would be beneficial for you. But this is just a cool way to see the quantified numbers that you contribute across Texas, and the miles, the acres, all the things, and just seeing that impact. And so thank you again to you, because this is all because of you. And we hope you enjoyed the National Volunteer Month celebration. 2 more posts going out today and tomorrow, so also be excited to see those coming soon. Michelle, you normally do this. Do you want me to do this today, though?
I'll do it.
Okay.
So originally we had this slide hidden and we it just had another reminder to bring it up again. Just reminders to our membership using the Master Naturalist title. There are points to use it, and there are times when you don't use it. Just additional reminders that the Master Naturalist title, your chapter name, and your program chapter membership should never be used in connection with advocacy or to invoke policy at any level. Your Master Naturalist title and certification should never be used for personal gain or profit. It is not a certification for your professional endeavors. Remember that the logo and title are trademarks of the program. Chapters and members through their chapters must seek state office approval when adding them to chapter t-shirts, chapter merchandise, chapter and project flyers, or anything like that. If you have questions on that, please submit the question. Hannah's our go-to person for the chapter t-shirt reviews and logo requests. And then additional reminders: public comment should only be made as a private citizen. Your Master Naturalist title should never be associated with your public comments. Some examples include when contacting your legislators on any given issue, any agency commissioners, city councils, public comment periods, public comment at commission meetings, and any other documents, to name just a few. And then these are not new guidelines for our program by any means. They have been in existence since the existence of the program. So those guidelines can be seen at the chapter documents page there. All right. And then moving on to speaking of our documents, our guiding documents page, just a final reminder, you've got 1 or 2 more days to get input in using our documents feedback form. We are in that third, so we review the guiding documents every 3 years to review for potential updates. We're in that third year right now, so final days of collecting any input. And as a reminder, we've been collecting that input to the governing documents over the past 3 years. So we're rounding out those 3 years right now. Over the summer, we will begin reviewing those reviewing the input and seeing if there's anything that we need to clarify in the guidelines and our guiding documents. And then the next slide.
And Michelle, just say this 2026 is the new documents here part one more time.
So we are going through the update process this year, but any updates that are made will not be enacted or put into process until January 2026. Additional documents so in addition to all of the guiding documents like the bylaws, chapter operating handbook, and our CMOP, chapter management operations protocols, those are things that we're definitely going to look at, but also on the slate is the remainder of our governing documents. Our Master Naturalist Brand Guide, Texas Master Naturalist Brand Guide, and then the Guidance for Citizen Science Volunteer Service Hours is in the process of being updated as we speak. All right. Update on the 4,000, really this is an update for the Presidential Volunteer Service Award pins packages. Those are still on back order. I inquire every month of if they will have an ETA and when those will be available. There is no date specified, just that they are working on it. All 4,000 hour awards and up were sent to our chapters in April. And I have a growing list of Presidential Volunteer Service Award packages that will need to be ordered when the ordering does become available. So still no update on when that will happen, but as of right now, everybody is up to date in at least their Master Naturalist pins from us.
I think this one's me. As you know, we're still continuing on with our TMN Tuesdays. Our next one is coming up May 13th. The recording will be posted to our website on that TMN Tuesday page, either later that day, the next morning, or sometime that week. And a reminder of all the recordings that we have up until the first half of the year will go out in June. So if you have some chapter members who say, I missed February and I'd really like to watch it back, there will be a post that you can share and show to them saying, hey, don't worry, we have all those recordings up on our website for them to watch. And if you were on socials this morning, you can switch to the next slide. You might have seen that we just announced who we have for May. Just a reminder that we send those announcements out. I need to send that on the listserv. That's a good reminder. I haven't done that yet today. So it'll go out on the listserv after this meeting. It's already gone out on socials, but we send those reminders out 2 weeks prior to the event. So if you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs, wondering when it's going to come out, it's always 2 weeks prior. But for May, we have Stewardship Lessons from Aldo Leopold by Steve Nell. He's spoke for us before, and it was an awesome presentation, so everyone should get excited for that. And I dropped the link in the chat on where to register if you haven't already. And feel free to also share those with your members as well, because this is open to the public as well. So any friends that you have that might find this interesting, go ahead and send it to them as well.
All right, and then we get into my section of the presentation this afternoon. I'm talking about the annual meeting. Not a whole lot of big updates and changes for the annual meeting, so I'm going to go through this fairly quickly. But all things annual meeting can be found on our website. We are here in the timeline of progression as we get closer to the conference. We have our call for proposals is out now with a deadline in mid-May. My specific request for, well, I'll save that for just a second, but you can see the rest of the timeline as we start to hit June here. We will start to speed up with our progression towards October. But in May right now, we are looking for proposals. We're looking for presentations. So my specific request for you as chapter leaders, as Master Naturalist volunteers yourself, is help us to find those presentations, those speakers, those topics for this year's agenda. You guys are the ones out there hearing from your local conservation organizations directly, recruiting speakers for chapter meetings or chapter trainings, and you're hearing the buzz on who's a great speaker and what topics are hot topics. So help us share that call for proposals. It's gone out on our social, on our website, on email several times. So please help by forwarding that on to those speakers that you think need to be heard by a statewide audience of Master Naturalist volunteers. Again, that deadline is May 16th. I think I forgot to change that again. The previous slide said 15th. Inevitably, we will probably extend that deadline to June 1st, but for right now, we're asking folks to have their proposals in by mid-May. The next piece that is ever evolving with the conference is the request for sponsors and the request for vendors. So we do have a sponsorship request out now to Master Naturalist chapters, conservation organizations, partners, those that see the support for the Master Naturalist Conference as a shared value of theirs. If you have somebody in mind for that, email me and let me know, and I can get that sponsorship packet to them. Same with our vendor packet. We do host vendors at our conference every year, and this is a great way to do a little bit of naturalist Christmas shopping in October at some of these vendor booths. So that sponsor and vendor packet is available for y'all on our website, for you to forward on, or if you have somebody that you want me to send it to, please let me know as well. And then this is the update for that. We do already have some sponsors from chapters and from partner organizations. And then we also have our first vendor signed up. The Horned Lizard Society is going to be there again this year. So thank you to those who have joined us as sponsors and vendors for this year already. Excited to have y'all support and see y'all in October. The other big update for the annual meeting section is our contests. We've been working on this internally for the last couple of weeks and should have the final contest rules out early next week. But we have our 4 major contests associated with the annual meeting: our chapter advisor, chapter project fair, video contest, and photo art and media contest. Those 4 contests, events, awards, programs all come together and have a common deadline this year of September 1st. Please note, big flashing lights here, that is earlier than normal. That is to allow us enough time to judge and get things set up in time for this year's conference. So please note that that is an earlier deadline than normal, which is why we're trying to tell you earlier than normal and get these contest rules and applications out there earlier than normal. So as you can see, our advisor awards, that is an opportunity to recognize your individual advisor or your team of chapter advisors. So start thinking now about those folks that support you from the state agencies as partners, what they do for your chapter, how they support you as a chapter. And if you've nominated them in the past and they weren't awarded in past years, consider re-putting that package together and re-nominating them. We want to recognize all of these advisors that are supporting you in their time as extension or Parks and Wildlife personnel. Next is our chapter project fair. This is a great opportunity to showcase what your chapter is doing that other chapters may be interested in how the who's and the hows and the what's and the whys of your project. So our project fair used to be the old trifold science board. We've now gone virtual with this. It is a virtual presentation that is done as a TMN Tuesday in September. The entry this year is a written paragraph that gets submitted in our online portal. Again, more instructions are forthcoming with those contest rules next week. But this is a great opportunity to showcase one of those projects that you're doing as a chapter. Maybe consider looking at your Pollinators for Texas project that you've put together as an entry for the project fair this year. How did that project come together? What did you do to make it successful? Where were the inputs from your chapter members and the volunteer hours that were awarded or that were contributed to that project? Maybe it's an anniversary celebration project, how your chapter recognized its anniversary over the course of the year and how that planning came together. So the chapter project fair is open to all Master Naturalist approved projects that showcase the breadth and width of what our chapters are doing. Two more contests to talk about. Our video contest. This is a great way to put together a 1 to 3 minute video showcasing some of those same concepts, projects that your chapter is doing, people of your chapter, maybe some partner highlights or some event highlights, especially in April as you guys are out and about, taking videos of events, City Nature Challenge, anniversary celebrations, training classes. Get your iPhone out and take a video for a few minutes there and then compile them together for this video contest. We also have a playlist of all past video contest winners and entries on our website and our YouTube channel. So if this is starting to tickle something in your brain that maybe our chapter should consider doing that, go back and look at some of those video contest playlists that we have listed on our website. And then last but not least, our photo, art, and media contest. This is an individual-based contest. So the other three are chapter-based contest. This is an individual-based contest for the most part. There are some chapter-based categories here, but our individual members can submit photos in the nine categories. I think it's 9. Yeah, it's 9 categories of photos there that you see on the left-hand column. They can submit individual entries into the art categories that we have on the right, and then the chapter submission section for chapter newsletters, scrapbooks, or brochures. So again, more information on all 4 of those contest entries is coming out early next week, and we will be sharing this information continuously as we get closer to that September 1st deadline. All right. And with that, Hannah, you want to tell us about the kitchen sink?
Sure, y'all are probably tired of hearing it at this point, but we just like to continue to reiterate and remind you that the one-stop shop for most of your questions is our website. You also might have noticed that it's getting a little bit of a facelift. I've been trying to go in and make it, beautify it a little bit, add a little bit of makeup. So I hope you like that aspect that's going on. But also to that, we are constantly updating the information on there. As you've seen, you can find all things Pollinated for Texas on the website, all things annual meeting on the website, all things TMN Tuesday on the website. We're constantly in there updating information and making sure that y'all have the information that you need to operate at the chapter level. So just a quick reminder that that is where you should go for your questions first. And also another quick plug for that email listserv. If you have any members who are saying, well, hey, I didn't get that information about this annual meeting thing, make sure they're signed up for the listserv. There's the QR code there. It's also under the 4 chapters tab on our website. And if for some reason they also want to get off of it, there's also instructions on how to unsubscribe on that page. So that's just a good page to share with your chapter members. Also on the website, of course, is the chapter templates and resources page. that gets periodically updated as we make new templates for y'all to use. The most recent update, of course, we announced it last month, but I'm going to plug it here again as well, is some social media templates, a profile photo template so that you can copy us at the state level and have the dragonfly in front of a really cool background photo of your choosing, and also some Facebook cover photos. I have loved seeing the Facebook cover photos on y'all's socials. You know, it notifies you when someone changes their cover photo, and so I love seeing those come up, especially because they have spots for you to add some chapter photos, and it's always great seeing what you're all doing in a photo form. So again, new templates are added periodically. We have an updated password for 2025. If for some reason you can't find it in your email or think you didn't get it, go ahead and email me and I can get that to you. It is a password protected page. And if you have any template suggestions, particularly for social media, because we're trying to help y'all revamp those as you go through those, let me know, send me an email and we can see getting those added. And also we have that little note about the Facebook Live videos. It depended on when you got a notification from Facebook on when your deadline to download them is. But just a reminder in case that's something that's still on your to-do list and you haven't gotten done yet, to download those Facebook Live videos because they're changing their storage capacity for those.
Some more dates to put on your calendar are TXMN Tech Tuesdays. These are WordPress training 45-minute webinars that are hosted by our AgriLife IT team every month, the first Tuesday of the month. The link was sent out earlier this year to webmasters and chapter presidents. If you need that link again, please let me know and I'll get that to you. Dagna has been working on doing some updates with the calendar, Events Calendar Pro plugin, and reviewing the accessibility and security of that feature. And she'll be covering that again at the May 6th Tech Tuesday, if you've got any questions about that.
We've had some updates to the WebEx account over the last month. So we had to, the big item here with the WebEx accounts update is that the login, it was required that we update the login password. So the login names have remained the same. The password has been updated. The only update to the existing password is that 2025 has been added to the front of that. And that's all I'm going to share. I'm not going to share publicly the password right now. But know that for those of you who use the accounts, 2025 has been added to the front of the password. Notification was sent out to all of the chapters that had meetings set up in the accounts for the week. So anything from Friday last week through next Tuesday, an individual email went out to those chapters that have a meeting set up in each of the accounts. And then I tried to send a note to the presidents through the meeting announcement for this meeting today, letting you know that the password has been updated as well. For the remainder of the notifications, our VMS team is going through each of the accounts and getting a log of users that have set up meetings in the WebEx accounts over the past year. And so we're sending a note to each of those users within the past year, just letting them know about the update to the password that for the accounts. And then right now serves as a great reminder for some of the reminders that we have on those accounts. So when you do set up meetings in those accounts, include your chapter name, your meeting title, what's the purpose of the meeting, and then the contact, the main person to contact if there are questions about the meeting that has been set up. So in the case of some of the meetings that were set up in the accounts, we just had a chapter name. Or it was XYZ chapter monthly meeting. I had to send to the president because we didn't have the contact for the person who was actually managing the WebEx meeting on behalf of the chapter. So presidents, thank you for helping to get the update and information out to those in your chapters who do manage the accounts. And then one other reminder is that if you do record your meetings, go in and download if you want to preserve those recordings and keep them, go in and download as soon as possible after your meeting is over. And regardless, the recordings on the back end of the account are deleted and cleaned up on the 5th of every month following. So know that takes place. And was there a question?
Yes, ma'am. There was a question in the chat. And so for the sake of the recording, Talat asks, is there a charge to chapters to use the WebEx accounts?
No, that is an offering of the state program for your chapters. No charge to you.
Perfect.
Okay, been another big update over the past month. We received a short notice that, surprise, April 1st, no fooling. The VMS, for those chapters that have administrators at your local level for VMS, all administrators were to implement an MFA, multi-factor authentication for VMS. And so when your chapter administrators on the back end log into VMS now they have to multi-factor authenticate in order to complete the login process. That was enacted April 1st, no fooling. One of the things we have about 320 VMS administrators at the local chapter level. Those 320 administrators are the people that need to be loading the multi-factor authenticator for VMS. We have about, let's see, when we last met, and I think it's probably less now, we had about 60 people that at the local chapter level who still needed to download the MFA and get that all set up. I suspect that is probably maybe cut in half by now, but chapters, presidents, just know that our VMS team has sent out a notification, a note, an email to your members, your administrators that haven't set up the MFA yet. And it's been a good process because we've been able to identify people who are no longer acting as administrators of the VMS at their local level, or there's been some changes. And so in most cases, the people that haven't downloaded the MFA yet are kind of those cases where we're finding, yes, this person isn't doing that job now, but so-and-so is. So at the end of this month, the VMS team is going to be going through the remaining people who haven't downloaded the MFA and enacted that process yet, and working with you as chapter presidents to rectify either is this person going to continue in this role? If they do, they need to download that MFA and go through that process. If not, then do you want to find somebody else? So, and if you need to find somebody else to complete those processes locally at your chapter level, then they will need to go through training with the VMS team in order to gain access. So just a kind of a heads up notification to chapter presidents that if you do receive a copy on a note to an admin that hasn't updated the MFA process yet, we may need your help in locating someone to fill that role if still needed. And then other items that admins can be doing, can continue to work on over the next month until we meet again. Just continue to review your local chapter opportunities and archive those that you no longer need. Those would be the volunteer service opportunities, advanced training opportunities, and archive those that you no longer need. For admins, review your personal local grids that they have set up. And if you don't need any of those grids anymore, go ahead and archive those or delete any of those that you no longer need. And then I mentioned these two things just kind of in prep for a test environment and moving to the actual upgrade of the system. So the things that you no longer need, let's go ahead and get rid of those, archive the things that need to be archived, delete the things that need to be deleted, and that'll make the transition a little less clunky for the VMS. So we won't be upgrading things that don't need to be upgraded. And then the reminders there at the bottom, those are the same reminders I had at the as last month. And then just a final reminder for our Master Naturalist volunteers, there was no change for our volunteers, the end user reporting hours in the system over the past month.
Michelle,
and then I see a chat. Does the state office periodically provide VMS data summaries to the chapter, such as number of active volunteers and hours logged? So we did that through our annual report. And then at your chapter level, so your VMS admins have been and continue and could receive additional training on how to pull reports at the local level. So that training is always available, and your VMS admins can always pull that as you need it for your local chapter too. All right, and I continue to have this slide in here, just improving reporting. If you can, as a chapter, on different things that your chapter holds and has as far as meetings and advanced training, if you could help improve the reporting by, especially if those volunteers who are new in the process or new trainees, give them the information that they need to report and report the best information that is available. So the example for today's meeting in our April Presidents and Advisors meeting, your time with us here today and how to report that is, you can see in the green box. So, and if you can help by doing the same for your members through your chapter meetings and advanced trainings that your chapter has.
Okay, I'll go over the next couple of slides as we get close to wrapping up today's meeting. No update here, just that our license plate is available for Master Naturalist members or the general public, those folks that want to continue to support the program with a non-personalized or a personalized license plate. Current favorite of mine is the one in the top right corner that says "Hate Privet." Which is just a great way to share your disdain for invasive species out on the land, or show your membership to your chapter through a named license plate with your chapter name on there. I'll be pulling the next the Q1 report for 2025 here in June 1st. Will be my next report, and I'll report back on that. We also have our endowment, our Master Naturalist endowment, as a continuous opportunity for Master Naturalist or partners or those that are interested in honoring Master Naturalist to give through our endowment website. There's a direct link to give there on our on the page there, and on that QR code as well. So thanks to those who have given, who have put together planned gifts, estate planning, in memorial or honorarium of members, or even chapter gifts, or individual gifts as well. So thank you to all of those folks. We still stand ready to honor the challenge that has been laid out by the Heartwood chapter. The Heartwood chapter was able to present last month to this group about the Master Naturalist Endowment Chapter Challenge that they have laid forth to raise $20,000 for the endowment, with their starting donation of $2,000 to the endowment to honor their 20th anniversary. So really appreciate their willingness to take lead with this project, and we'll be sharing more information over the next several months as we get closer to October, and then announcing the hopefully the fulfillment of this goal in October at the annual meeting. And then wrapping up before we get into open discussion, our next president's meeting will be May 27th. We have the TMN Tuesday, May 13th is a date to put on your calendar, as we talked about earlier. And then our next presidents and advisors meeting is May 27th. All right, and Michelle, I think that wraps it up and opens up President's Corner for open discussion.
Yeah, we didn't have any questions that came in specifically to discuss or for you to ask of each other. Some things that did come in, we kind of brought it back slides in throughout the presentation to kind of reiterate and readdress. So other than that, let's see. There's a question about endowment.
Yeah, I see
Um,
Brian's question in the chat about does a December 2024 endowment donation apply to this year's challenge? I would guess so. We appreciate the donation, but maybe we use that as another challenge to extend your initial donation, Ryan. But really do appreciate your donation to the endowment, and so maybe you can have your chapter match that as a way to give into the Heartwood Challenge chapter challenge. All right. Any other questions from folks? Rolling Plains chapter has received a grant, a small grant from the Texas Horned Lizard Conservation Society. Congratulations, Penny. That's wonderful. As the screen says, let us know about those awards, those grants, other accolades that you win. We are always wanting to shout from the mountaintops about the things that you as a chapter, you as your members are doing, being honored or receiving. It's a great way for us to recognize y'all's impact. All right, and I'm sitting awkward. We can sit awkward for the next 9 minutes as we close in on the hour, or we can let you guys get back to finishing out your observation periods with iNaturalist over the next couple of days, or taking a break from all
take a
the
breather from
iNatting.
April. Thanks everyone for being online today.
Absolutely, thanks y'all. All right, I'm going to get this recording posted to the website. Bye, y'all.